In today's video, we're checking out the ecoflow Pro, and we'll be testing it out on my trailer using both ACs in this unit. And if you guys want to save the most amount of money when buying anything from ecoflow, I've teamed up with Modern House USA to get you guys the best deals on anything that is ecoflow, so be sure to check out the links and the promo code in the description below. When getting this unit out of the box, one thing to take note is it does weigh 99 pounds. So yes, you are going to want to have a friend maybe help you lift it out, because in all honesty, this is kind of heavy. Okay, that was actually kind of heavy. After getting everything out, this is all you'll see is one black box and the unit itself, and you do want to keep the main box that it came in just in case you have to return it for warranty reasons or anything else, and it makes for great storage. As we open this little box, this is where you will find all your accessory cables and information like your manual and even a little Stay Fresh packet. As we take a look at the contents in the box, you'll see that it comes with an AC power cord, a DC to DC power cord, and then your 12-volt socket, which has an XT60 connector, and then your MC4 connectors, which that's for your solar panel, and then this little plug here is an accessory plug, which you will hook up to your smart generator if you happen to buy one of those. As we take a look at the ecoflow Pro, it's a 3600 watt-hour unit. When compared to this older model at 1260 watt-hours, it's basically like taking 3 of these and building one big box for the new one. ecoflow has the best display out on the market right now for power stations. As we take a look at this, it has all kinds of information showing input wattage, output wattage, and more, and even a detailed charge display and the amount of days or hours that it'll take to discharge or charge the unit. As we take a look at the USB ports, these are only 12 watts a piece. These are up to 18 watts, and the USB-C ones can handle 100 watts output if capable of your device. As we take a look at the 420 amp outlet plugs, these are actually so close together that if you have one big plug, you could block 2 or 3 of them, which this open space down here would have been a good area to spread these out, maybe even move the button up there to gain more room. But this 30 amp plug is what I'm more interested in, which we'll be testing on the trailer soon, but I'd also like to see dust caps as well. Just to the right of the screen on this side door, you have a whole nother set of accessory outputs, which you have an Anderson plug, which is capable of putting out 30 amps. And below that, you have a 12-volt socket to charge up other accessories. And then below that, the 2 DC charging ports, which these are not super popular anymore, and they included its own on-off button. And this IoT reset is basically for like Wi-Fi and connecting the app and more. And then you have a remote button, which now they have a Bluetooth option, which you can also use this for Wi-Fi and pairing. And then you have a standby button, which this allows you to keep the unit on standby at all times. The Infinity port allows you to buy an adapter cable to run 2 of these units side by side, so you can run up to 240 volts or even be able to charge this up from an EV charging station. As we take a look at the back, you'll see diagrams that shows what's underneath this panel, and this is where you'll find your XT60 connector slot, which this is where you can plug in your solar panels for up to 1600 watts. And then next to that is also your charging controller. This is where you can put it to fast, slow, or custom, and I'll go over that in just a couple minutes. And then here's where you'll plug in your AC cord for up to 1800 watts, and then a reset button next to that. And on the lid, they actually give you all the specifications to this unit as far as input and output, and even how to get a hold of ecoflow if you need to. Just below that, you'll see 2 more extra port doors, where this is where you can hook up 2 more batteries to give you almost up to 11,000 watt hours of power, which is huge. And this is also where you'll take that adapter that came with the kit, so you can hook up a smart generator if you happen to buy one, so they can communicate between the generator and the ecoflow power unit. One nice thing about ecoflow is they only give you power cords. They don't give you charging bricks and other adapters like these that you need to use that are actually inefficient, that use power that you don't need, and the fan on this one actually just comes on for no reason once it's plugged in. Using the ecoflow is pretty easy. You just plug it in, and then almost immediately you'll see the display come on and it'll start charging. And one thing about this unit is it'll actually draw a lot of power, up to 1800 watts, which is about as much as a 15 amp circuit can handle. So if you have anything else plugged into that circuit, more than likely at some point you'll probably come back out to the unit, and this is what you'll see, is that the unit is not charging, because if something else is drawing power on that unit, even though none of these are plugged in, I had something downstream in another socket that was drawing a couple amps, and it actually made the ecoflow unit pop the breaker, so I had to come back here and put it on slow charge, and here is where the default is at 400 watts. But this is what's nice. ecoflow's integrated app actually allows you to change a lot of settings on the ecoflow Pro unit. You can go into the settings button and then change the default charge speed, which from 400 watts, now you can go in and select up to 1800 watts or whatever it is you choose. So I'm going to go ahead and select this up and go maybe up to 1000. Actually, we'll just go on ahead and go to 1200 watts. You'll confirm your selection. And now after confirming your selection, you should see on the app 1200 watts as selected, and the unit will now just automatically start charging up to 1200 watts. And now you notice the charge time is no longer 8 hours, but it's actually 2 hours and maybe a little bit more for the unit to fully charge up. And this is only one of the benefits to the app. You can adjust other things like the screen brightness. Instead of having it all the way at 100%, you may only need it to maybe halfway or not need it at all. So if you turn it all the way down to 30%, even with it way down, you can still see it really easy. So this can help save just a little bit of power, or find a custom setting that you like, which I'm going to go ahead and set mine down to about 60%. And even at this level, you can still see it just fine. So I'll possibly turn it down a little bit more, but other items include like unit or screen timeout, or having the AC timeout at a certain time of your choosing, and also checking on maybe firmware updates and specifications. Also, other things include like your car input. Maybe you want to change the input power of that and drop it down to where it's not drawing so much. And of course, you'll want to go ahead and rename this so you can identify the unit, which I've already done. And so now that we're pretty much done playing with the app, we're going to go ahead and go outside. Now, one thing I do like is the telescoping handle with the wheels. This is definitely proving to be a nice feature. All right, so we're going to be doing a little bit of testing on my trailer here. So I'll show you my setup that I have with the ecoflow real quick. So let me drop down here and show you what the screen looks like. And so right now I have about 200 watts coming in, and it's about 19 minutes until it's fully charged. My trailer's a 30 amp service and it's plugged in already, and that black cord is actually plugged into 2 SOK batteries, and that's acting like a 200 watt solar panel basically that would be plugged into the ecoflow unit and providing us a little extra runtime. Now the sun just did go down, and so it is still pretty hot outside. It's about 90 degrees inside my trailer and about 90 degrees outside as well. So this will be a good test to try on the ecoflow to see if it's going to be able to run actually 2 AC units. So that's a 15K AC unit, and then in the bedroom over here is another one which is a 13.5K AC unit, and we'll go over that a little bit more in a second. So we're going to go to the big AC unit first, and you can see my app, which we'll use this to monitor everything that's going on. So right now you can see the input at 180 watts from the 2 batteries, and you can see the output is completely at 0. So the trailer is completely off, nothing is turned on, all the lights are from DC power. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the first AC unit, and we're going to turn it on to cool and low. So we'll get this one fired up and we'll take a look at the app. You should see this come on in a second, and I do have the X boost on as well. So now you can see the unit is up and running, and it's drawing about 1250 watts. And these AC units that I'm running in my trailer, these are kind of the newer Mach 1 units. So this 15K AC unit is about 15 to 20% more efficient than like the old ones that I used to have in my other trailer before this one. The same thing with the one that's in the bedroom as well at 13.5K. So I should be drawing about 10 amps almost off of this particular unit. We're going to turn the AC unit on high now, and ooh, look, a comet. So right now I'm running about 1260 watts, and it should go up a little bit more to about 1325. And it is hot in the trailer right now, and I want you to look at the wattage because it will change a little bit later when I do another test. So right now we have about 2 hours and 55 minutes of runtime, and I'm going to go ahead and now click this back down to low. And so we'll get this back to the low setting, and then we're going to go to the other AC unit here. So this should drop us back to about 1250 watts, give or take. As you can see, it comes down a little bit, and that's about where it lives on this unit, running about 10 amps, give or take. The AC unit will be 10 to 11 amps on the first one, and this one will be about 9 to maybe 10 amps on the second one. So now we're going to go over here and turn this on, and again, I want you to pay attention because it is hot in here. It's 90 degrees, 1275 watts, right? So I'm going to show you the test again in a second. So we'll turn this on to low fan first to get this fired up and started. And this is hard for a gas generator just in general. A 3500 watt gas generator running 2, AC units is no easy task, but there goes the fan. And you can see now we're running about 1500 watts. I'm going to turn this over to the cool side now, cool low. And it is hot outside and it's hot inside, but as we look, boom, shuts off. Okay, so I'm going to show you something else here in a minute. I'm going to wait for about 45 minutes and come back and do this test. Okay, so it's been about an hour as I had to do a couple things before I could come back out here, but it's cooled off only about maybe 3-4 degrees outside and maybe about 3 or 4 degrees inside. Now I just started up this AC unit. It's been running for about a minute, maybe a little bit longer, and you can see at 1225 watts versus before it was 1250 to 1275, right? And now instead of 90, it's 86 in here. And so I'm gonna leave that on cool low, and we'll go back over to the other AC unit now. We'll do the same test. And so now let me put this into the low position. We'll start the fan first, and you'll see that come on here as far as the output wattage. And there it goes. So, and last time it was turning about 15 to 1525 on the watts, and now look, we're under a little bit. And so now this unit is running just on the fan only, and now we'll kick the AC unit on here in just a second. So let me set these buttons. And there it goes. Now we should see this kick on here, at least we hope. And boom, away it goes. Look at that. So 2 AC units running on an ecoflow Pro, which is pretty impressive. I mean, it's hard to get generators, gas ones anyway, to do this. So, and you can see right there that it's on low. We're gonna go ahead and just kick it on high. And now that's gonna boost up the wattage a little bit more, up to 2200, 2275. Actually, let's go ahead and turn the other one on high while we're here, and we'll just see how well it does running both of these. Now, obviously, the runtime on this is not going to be real good, but for me, going camping a lot of times, I go into the mountains or to the coast where it's cooler, and I only run the AC unit sometimes for about 45 minutes to an hour in the evening just to cool it off a little bit. And if I'm not plugged in, that means I have to run the generator for a little while. So this is actually kind of cool. Even though you can see the runtime drops down to an hour and a half now, but if we put this back down to low, and if I have this plugged into other batteries or a different source, or even if I had the ecoflow smart generator, I could boost this up to a lot longer actually, and maybe just run this for a couple hours. But I am going to deplete the thing all the way. But it just shows you how powerful this unit really is to be able to run 2 AC units and kick them and get them going. So, and as we go back outside and take a look at the unit, I wanted to see how hot it was, and actually it doesn't really feel like it's overheating. I was feeling the fans and everything seems pretty normal. It's just warm air, but you can see I still have 180 watts coming in. Both units are still running in there, and I have just over an hour and a half roughly of runtime currently as far as the charge state goes. But you can see right there a little solar panel indicator meaning power, but for the most part, this is definitely an impressive unit. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, and be sure to take advantage of the promo codes and the pricing to get the best prices on anything that's ecoflow. And I hope you guys liked the video. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And until then, I hope to see you guys next time.